Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a video on the past and how much of my past should influence my future. I'm the kind of person who tries to have, tries to have a good talk with anybody that I come across. I live with six other housemates, and they're all from different places. One is from Philippines, one is from Chicago. Even at my workplace, I have like people coming from, I don't know, maybe 100 nationalities. It's New York City, you know. Um, but one thing that strikes me as common across different cultures and different people is the inhibitions that we have as human beings, and the inhibitions that say, okay, one such inhibition is, well, the past wasn't great. How great could my future be? You know? I mean, we look at the past as evidence for how it will be in the future. But we have evolved a lot, right? Video calls are so common, but do you think that, I don't know, two centuries ago video calls were this common? No, they were not. But how did we get to this stage? If technicians kept looking at, okay, we never got past normal phone calls, how can we ever, do a video call? If they kept thinking like that, they would never have gotten to this stage. They did because they knew that past exists only to tell us ways that do not work. And so we are pointed in the right direction. Because in the past, I tried A, B, C, and D. That did not work. Now I'm in my present, and I know that A to D will not work, but E, F, and G can. And now that's not something I would have known had I not seen my past. So, past is just information that is useful for you to change your future. So we have a lot of inhibitions about past, and this is a channel on emotional awareness. And the biggest reason for any kind of unhappiness in the lives of so many different people in the world is because of their past. Something did not go right in their past. Someone was not right in their past. They couldn't accomplish what they wanted to in their past. Things didn't happen the way they wanted it to be in their past. And these things they believe continue to have an influence on their present, which is why they are not happy, and which is why they're not expecting things to be better in the future, right? Majority. And everyone is unhappy about something or the other, and whoever is unhappy because it has something to do with their past. So this is a very common problem. And the more you count on your past to tell you what can and cannot be done, the less likely you are to do it, because the past is not a mirror to your future. The past exists to tell you better ways of doing things. Some things in your past worked out, some things in your past didn't. You can repeat the things that worked out, and the things that didn't work out, you can do them differently. That's what past exists for. It doesn't exist for you to ruminate over this happened, that happened. Even in interpersonal relationships, we are people, people make mistakes, people take actions, actions have consequences, sometimes intended, sometimes unintended, and the world goes on. But trying to analyze the past, replaying it over and over in your head, and telling yourself that this is how it's going to be in the future is unfortunately not a very good way to live. It's not healthy. It's also called living in an illusion, and it's also called having a weak character, because a weak character is not just someone indulging in infidelity or cheating on their partner or having no integrity. Of course that's weak, but that's not the only kind of weakness. Not being able to see the bigger picture, not being able to see how things can get better with you and your career, with you and your relationship with a specific person, or with you and your ambitions, with you and your health, your body, your fitness, not being able to see the truth of how rosy things can be, just because you deny, leaving the past, just because you deny that the future could be any better than the past, is what a weak person, a weak character does that. No, nothing has to be the way it has been in the past. Absolutely nothing. Do you know what I mean? And how do you decide that? You decide by saying, okay, that was a past, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to think of the same things, but in a different way. I'm going to use it educationally, to educate myself, to see what went wrong and how I cannot do it again. Even in relationships, I said this thing, the person got offended. Okay, maybe I have to use a better way to say this, not the old way. Instead of thinking, oh my God, the person got offended, that means I can't communicate. Okay, this relationship has no chance of working out. No. I really enjoy watching Suits, and there was this episode where, Harvey Specter says to Jessica Pearson that, Jessica, our backs are up against the wall, meaning there's nowhere to go and there's nowhere to be, and we can't do anything about it because our back is up against the wall. So it's against nothing. There's a wall there, and so we are. Jessica said something beautiful, and I so deeply resonate with that woman because I feel I'm tough like her too. She said, Harvey, when our backs are up against the wall, you know what we do? We break the whole goddamn wall down, right? And this is not just a dialogue of a series, and it's a popular series and they're trying to sell. No. If you are a Hindu, and I am using this example for the second time in my videos, you know Lord Hanuman, and you know what he did with the Sanjeevani Booty. For all my friends who are in the US, there's a god in the Hindu community, and what he did was he wanted to fetch some herbs because one of his lords was unwell and he wanted to heal him. So someone told him that there's this place which has a big, large mountain, and in the mountain there are like lots of herbs, and he has to get that herb to heal his master. And so he couldn't really figure out which herb that was. So what he did was he kind of lifted the whole mountain. I mean, imagine lifting. It's almost, and that's called the Sanjeevani Booty. And imagine lifting all of Santa Monica, or imagine lifting all of Los Angeles. I mean, that's how it was. And for my Indian viewers, you know what Sanjeevani Booty is. So, that's the kind of effort that you need to take for your life. Do you want to be a better person? Do you want to be responsible for your own happiness? I'm going to show some tough love here. Some tough love. If you don't want to be responsible for your happiness, if you don't want to take responsibility for yourself, I'm going to say it. Go die. Go die. Because if you want to live happily. Okay? I'm telling you, live happily. Get rid of your medicines. Get rid of your blood pressure. And the way to do that is to be clear here in your head. Be happy, take responsibility for yourselves. Don't count on the past for anything other than to point you in the right direction. And everything works out as long as you don't carry that heavy baggage with yourself. This happened, that happened. Okay, something terrible happened, right? Something terrible happened with your career. You went to an interview as a nurse, and the interviewer said, okay, we can't hire you. So does that mean you don't go to another nursing home for an interview? You do. What makes you go to the other one? Well, because you don't stop trying. Then why do you stop trying in relationships? You went to a specific person and things didn't work out. So you go to another person and things won't work out again. Then you go to a third person. This is what keeps happening. You can go to as many people as you want, right? But you have to make sure that the reason you are leaving somebody is not because the past was not good enough. Or the reason you are with somebody but you're not happy with them is because the past is not good with them. Because the past doesn't indicate anything. People try to dig up the past for clues. Okay, this is how the person is, and the person is not going to change because he did a crime in the past. And so that shows a criminal mentality. And so, no, I can't trust this person because if he can do a crime once, then he can do a crime again. You know, that's not how you should look at past. That's not how you should look at people. It's unhealthy, it's toxic, and the minute you think something negative about somebody, the minute you do, answer me this: do you feel happy? Okay, my sister did something terrible, and I'm thinking about, oh my God, I couldn't believe my sister did this. The emotion that I have in my heart, is it a happy emotion? No. So I'm the first person I hurt when I think about how terrible someone did or someone said, right? Instead, there's something else I could do. Okay, my sister did something terrible. Dear God, I want to pray for my sister. She did something terrible. Good people don't do that. Please bless her. I know my sister's potential. She can be a very good person. She was a very good person. It looks like things are not very well with her. Please bless her with your kind and healing energy. And I promise you, God, that I'll be with her every step of the journey. Amen. This is another way. This is another way, right? Your husband came home drunk and he is not willing to take responsibility of finances. You could either say, oh my God, my husband does this, he comes home at 3, he hits me, and he's an addict, he's okay, but when he gets drunk, he goes crazy. Oh my God, I'm married to this psycho, I want to get out of my marriage. I don't know, he doesn't take responsibility of the family, I'm the only one earning, it's very expensive living in the US. You could either say that, or you could say, dear God, I know my husband is doing some terrible things that he shouldn't be doing, and nobody is a fan of doing terrible things, but people do that when things are not in their control. People do that when they are insecure, when they are angry, when they are hurt, or because they do not know good manners. And none of this is a pleasant thing to deal with. And I can imagine that if he is being so unpleasant to me, how unpleasant he must be feeling. So, dear God, please bless him. Please allow him to be a better person. Please bless him. Please bless him to be pleasant starting tomorrow. It's a new day, and I can always hope. And as his wife, I promise you, God, I promise you, I will not stop hoping until the last day I'm here in this world, until my last breath, until I die, till death do us part. I will not stop hoping. That's the best I can do as my wife, and I'm sure you can too as God. So let's do this together. This is one way of, you pray for the person. The person needs your prayers. A person doesn't just need your prayers when he is in an ICU or he's on a ventilator. It's not only then. People need your prayers when they are sick mentally, when they are not doing what they're supposed to do, or when they are acting out of character. They, in that point of time with that individual, are acting like they are mentally sick. What do you do for sick people? You pray for them, you help them heal. You don't beat them. If someone comes up to you and says, hey, I have a headache, you say, how dare you have a headache? I'll give you a tight slap on your face. No, you give them a pill, you give them a coffee. So that's what you have to do with a sick person. Especially with sick people, you have to treat them with a lot of overflowing love. You don't have to treat normal people like that. But when you see that someone is sick, acting out of character, you have to put all your love and energy to them. That's how you heal them. So I hope you understand that the past does nothing except help you. The past is just an instrument. Everything around you, this gym, this treadmill, this sofa, the clothes you're wearing, your brain, your heart, the way you think, the past, the present, the future, look at everything as an instrument. It's all an instrument to help you achieve what you want to achieve, so long as you know how to use it like an instrument and not use it to crib. It accomplishes nothing really. Really. So, I hope you're living your best life. Make that commitment today. Be happy. Don't go die. Ciao.